Hello there, it's good to connect with you once again in 2025. This is the Polity coming to you live from the Abuja studios of King Adebayo Film and Theatre Arts Network, commonly referred to as KAFTAN Television. The Polity is a program that takes a deep dive into unfolding political events within Nigeria and even beyond the shores of the country. So much is happening already within the year. It is January. The Polity is replete with lots of activities. And we'll be taking a deep dive into discussing some of them, especially news making headlines on some of the major newspapers. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has told us that he's working very hard to end insecurity in Nigeria. And then, Sokoto, the governor of ex-governor of Sokoto State, we are told that Atayu Bafarawa, we've been told that he has quit the People's Democratic Party, and National Assembly has also threatened to block fundings for NIMASA, MPA, and Federal Inland Revenues and other agencies of government, as 390 stranded Nigerians evacuated from Niger Republic. So much is happening. I welcome our esteemed viewers from around the world for joining us on the Polity at this auspicious time. My name is Macauley Hunohashi, your regular uncle, and joining me right in the studio, he has already joined me live. He's no other person than our regular in-house analyst. Is Honorable Ambassador Samuel Danjuma, a youth activist and public affairs commentator in Nigeria. Honorable Ambassador, you are welcome to the Polity.
Thank you very much.
No, let's begin with this. I don't know how you feel. Nigerian electricity, sector is replete with a lot of challenges. Thank God this is 2025. Last year alone, we have had, news of grid collapse more than a dozen times, and this is 2025. But the news emanating from the head of that ministry, that is talking about Adebayo Adelabu, the Minister of Power, is saying there is a whopping 8 billion naira embedded in the 2025 budget just to enlighten Nigerians, you and I, on the use of meter and how to pay electricity bills. How did you receive that kind of news?
To be honest and fair to all Nigerians, the minute I received that news, I think I made a post on social media where I saw it, and I said, by now, if I was the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, which I'm also advising the President, the minister should be fired. Because ordinarily, I don't know what these people take Nigerians for. And most times, now you can see when I say the problem is not with the President, it's obvious it's not with the President. How will a minister tell us that you need 8 billion naira just to sensitize the people? The same minister told us he spent over 8 billion naira in fixing the national grid that collapsed last year, and after that amount was spent, the national grid collapsed even like 3-4 times after that. So this shows that this man is not competent. This man doesn't know the responsibility. I don't know how he even survived and survived the cabinet reshufflement the other time the president did. Somebody like this should be shown the way out. He's not capable. He's not representing the interest of our party. He's not representing the interest of Nigerians. He's not representing even the interest of the president. The president will not had supported that such amount of money be wasted. What are you telling Nigerians? What kind of enlightenment are you doing with 8 billion naira? Ordinarily, that money should have been put into subsidizing power for Nigerians to use. For the first time, I don't agree with this, and I think, Mr. President, it is high time the Minister of Power has to go.
And another question people are asking: how did they even arrive at that figure, 8 billion?
That is the question, because I'm trying to understand. Well, how will you 8 billion just to sensitize people? Then use it to subsidize power. Then we know that you have actually impacted the lives of people. See, there's no two ways about it. The best thing to be done, Mr. President should do now, and National Assembly, which is saddled with the responsibility of oversight, should call on the attention of Mr. President. The minister has to go.
But don't you think Nigerians need national reorientation with regards to national assets?
Nigerians need national orientation with regards to national assets. What is the National Orientation Agency of Nigeria doing?
That's right.
We have an agency saddled with that responsibility. So if the agency saddled with that responsibility is not even asking for 1 billion naira to sensitize Nigeria, and the Minister of Power is asking for 8 billion, no, it's not called for. It's time for the minister to go.
But one another sad aspect of it is that the minister made this presentation in a meeting with the Joint Committee of Power as the National Assembly, the Senate and the House of Representatives, and nobody raised any eyebrow.
I was on one of your programs last week, and I remember saying it that when the National Assembly came out to say the 2024 budget was performed below expectation, performed badly, and I said the National Assembly just shot themselves in the leg, because the National Assembly is saddled with responsibility of oversight to be able to checkmate the executive to do the right thing. So if the National Assembly would have joint section of the National Assembly would sit and listen to such, and by now hasn't called for the sack of that minister, it calls to question if the National Assembly are actually speaking or working for the people, or they are working for themselves.
Well, he did mention 3 major areas where this bill, this 8 billion naira will target. That is to address the challenges of, number 1, power theft. People in this country, there's something that's commonly referred to as what do you call it? Shortcutting, circuiting, bypass. That's the word, bypass. Poor payment habits, as well as the protection of national assets. And I know that national security, national civil defense corps are saddled with the responsibility of
securing our national assets.
That's number 1. That one has been taken care of. And then power theft. That is the one you just mentioned, bypass. That one has to do with our kind of orientation, and it's because the power itself is the tariff is very, very high, and it's not affordable. It is beyond the reach of the ordinary Nigerian. How can you correlate that with this? If
the minister had come to say we have budgeted 8 billion naira to subsidize power, so by so doing it will help us speak to the conscience of Nigerians not to bypass power and use and use the meters when it's provided. And it comes to even think of it, most of the meters Nigerians are using are being bought by Nigerians. So you didn't tell us you are going to provide free meters for Nigerians. You didn't say you are putting in the money to provide free meters or using the money to subsidize power so that Nigerians will have power and it will reduce power theft. At least when people know that what they pay for power is reasonable, they will be able to it will help. And like you said earlier, attitudinal change, we have the National Orientation Agency should speak to the conscience of the people that it is time we pay for what we use and not do bypass and the rest of them. But calling or putting in 8 billion naira into the national budget for just sensitizing Nigeria, it is the height of it, and Mr. President should by now fire the Minister of Power. And those in the National Assembly who are saddled with the Power Committee in the National Assembly and the Joint Committee of the National Assembly that has to do with appropriation, I'm surprised, and I think their constituencies should start asking them questions if they're actually there to represent them or they are there. See, I said it the last time. It is time everyone should put, all hands should be on deck to work for the betterment of Nigerians, not for selfish interests. It is time to you have always called that Nigerians should sacrifice for the betterment of this country. I have always called for Nigerians to be patient to Mr. President, but at this time I'm also calling on Mr. President. It is time to fire the Minister of Power, and I'm calling on the members of the National Assembly. It is time to keep self aside and work for the betterment of Nigerians. We have 230 million people who are dependent on you, and it's not all the time you take them for a ride. The party did not tell us that we're going. This was the aim of coming into power. The party came into power to better the loss of Nigeria, and I'm sure even the hierarchy of the party will not be happy to hear this. This is not what the party stands for. This is not what the party is here to represent, and it is high time the Minister of Power be shown the way out, and someone with competent and be put in that position who will be able to handle the power ministry and give us and give Nigerians what they really deserve. It is uncalled for. 8 billion naira. If I wait to see if the National Assembly will pass that budget, if National Assembly pass that budget, that calls to question of their integrity and if really they are working for Nigerians. It is high time we begin to speak truth to power. We begin to tell them the truth when they are not doing what is right. This is not about party. This is not about this is about Nigeria. It is not for the benefit of Nigeria. It is not for the interest of Nigeria. The only way that money will be for the interest of Nigeria is if that money is used to subsidize power. But until then, if it's just to subsidize Nigeria, the Minister of Power should be shown the way out.
Well, Honorable Danjuma, it is auspicious at this time for us to open our telephone line so that our viewers, our vibrant callers can begin to call in as usual. That is the telephone number is on your screen. We try to avail you the opportunity to verbalize your thoughts so that we can make the program interactive and conversational. I'm here in the studio with Honorable Ambassador Samuel Danjuma, He's a youth activist, he's a politician, and in fact a member of the ruling All Progressives Congress, as well as a public affairs analyst. We are here taking a look at the proposed 8 billion naira in the 2025 budget proposed by the Minister of Power to enlighten Nigerians on the use of better ways to handle their own electricity meters and payment of their tariff. We would like to hear from you. Now, the minister also said, and it gets me worried, that he believes that much more needs to be done regarding public education to ensure responsible electricity usage. Is that his responsibility?
You know, one thing that is being done in this part of the world is some of our political leaders take Nigerians for a ride. I just said it, we have the National Orientation Agency, which is saddled with this responsibility of enlightening Nigerians.
We have the media.
We have the media. We have, so I think the minister has forgotten the primary assignment that was given to him as Minister of Power, and is instead of doing that, you know, when you put in a round peg in a square hole, you begin to find these issues. It can't fit in. See, we once had a time in this country when we had the Minister of Power who was Batanaji, and we knew the kind of reforms that were carried out in that sector. And when the president saw that the man was also interested in investing in power sector, he said, you can't do two. You have to pick one. It's either you follow your interest of coming up with a Joe power station in Aba, or you serve as minister. So at this point, this minister has no business being there as minister. He has crossed the line. It is time he be shown the way out. Okay.
Ambassador, we have a caller. Hello, good evening, please. Go ahead. Happy New Year. Oh, we have lost the caller. Go ahead.
You understand? So it's the minister's assignment. Now, what has he been able to do? Has he been able to solve the problem in the power sector that has to do with the power lab? He hasn't done that. And you could budget 8 billion naira just to sensitize Nigeria. This is the height of it. It is high time we begin to speak truth to power. It's not every time we say, no, this is not what the party told us. This is not what the party stands for. This is not about party. This is about the interest of Nigeria. And every right-thinking Nigerian will support my submission that it is time for the Minister of Power to leave.
The ministry has a public affairs department.
Exactly.
And they are replicated across the states. Wherever you go, you have them. So what are they doing?
That is the question. So we should begin to question these agencies. Are you actually doing what? Now, a few days ago, I need to bring this in also. I saw where JAM said they spent 1.3 billion in killing mosquito.
Yeah, exactly.
And then another 1 point something in feeding. And I'm beginning to ask questions. Do they feed students when they write JAM? What is the head of JAM still doing? He should be fired. People should be held accountable when it is time for them to be held accountable. This is not time for favorism. This is not time for knowing who you know. No, this is time. This is about Nigeria. I want us to be able, everybody should put all hands on deck to be able to deliver a Nigeria that we all will be proud to call our own country. We have no other place to go. I'm not one Nigeria that wants to jackpot. I remain here and I believe in Nigeria and I want the better for Nigeria.
Thank you. We are being rejoined by the same caller. Please go ahead, your name and where you're calling from.
Hello.
Go ahead. We can hear you loud and clear.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
My name is Fatolu Sunday Amos from Ogun State.
Sunday Amos from Ogun State. Go ahead with your perspective.
Yes. My first question, I greet our ambassador. My first question is that Minister for Power, what is his profession?
I think he's an accountant.
He's an accountant. He's an accountant, yeah.
So, because when you accountant to be the Minister of Power, what do you expect him to do?
That's why he talked about square peg being, squeezed into a round hole.
Cannot perform. That minister should go.
That's right.
Go. Why will you put somebody that is an accountant to be a Minister of Power? Well, he cannot do anything. Don't blame him. I blame Nigerian leader and Nigerian politician because they are politicized the whole thing. So I saw it. Okay,
thank you. We appreciate your perspective this afternoon. He has joined you in the call for the minister.
I think it's high time when it is time for our president to appoint some people into political offices like ministers. You watch them. Do they have ambition? Do they have political ambition? Are they looking up to becoming governors and that of their state? If they are, they shouldn't be appointed as ministers, because the only thing they do then is how they can amass forward for them to use for political campaigns and the rest of them. 2027 is around the corner. This should not be allowed.
Okay. We are being joined by Ibrahim from Gwagwalada. Ibrahim is joining us, a regular caller. Ibrahim, you are on, please. Good afternoon and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Ibrahim. Go ahead with your perspective. Ambassadors here in the studio.
The new year began.
Yeah.
Thank you. My regard to your very bold and courageous guest there.
Thank you.
I love his personality.
Beautiful. You can hear it loud and clear.
I love his courage to speak to the power, despite the fact that he belongs to the power in the N8bn.
Exactly.
You see, just like you said, that writing the presidency to change the means of power. You know, the power sector has become a blight, a disgrace to this country for a very long time. And it goes to say that the ministers of power that have been appointed have always been incompetent. If they are not incompetent, it means they are being discouraged to do their work by the presidency. Otherwise, there's no reason why the minister is not performing and it should be left there. Then it means now we have to wake up, because the power is more essential than almost any other thing in this country today. It's the cause of unemployment, it's the cause of ill health, it's the cause of discomfort, it's the cause of almost everything we have in this country. We need to get this power right. Then the presidency has to source for this minister that will handle that sector for anywhere. All we want is that power should be put right. Just like the ambassador said. This is my advice to us. We can go to any length to get that power right. If possible, emergency should be declared in the power sector.
Okay.
Nigerians are ready to pay for all they consume when it is not overvalued for them. They get this power right. Give everybody meter. Nigerians are ready to pay. And it's going to be a source of revenue when it is well managed.
Okay, thank you.
But when it can sell to other countries as well. They will not have enough to consume. How can you talk of making money from it? We hope the power will not become another white elephant in our country. We cannot even generate 5 kilowatts, 5,000 kilowatts. It's our view. When our people need over almost 100,000 kilowatts compared to South Africa, which is a much smaller country. You understand? Thank you very much. Smile.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ibrahim from Gwagwalada. We appreciate your call. He is speaking in tandem.
I think at this point, Mr. President should appoint a Minister of Petroleum and Mr. President should become Minister of Power.
Okay.
And declare a state of emergency in the power sector. Like he just said, everything is around the power. If there's power, the economy will grow. People, there will be employment. People, there will be restoration and the rest of them. So at this point, it is time to declare a state of emergency in the power sector. I remember that I worked in Ajakuta in the Girigu power plant, when in the construction of the Girigu power plant, and then Girigu power plant is the first of its kind on the surface of it. That's like a test where they test run the plant. That's the first place it was ever built. It was supposed to be powered by gas. It's a three-phase plant. The gas, two gas, then the last one is going to be turbine and the rest heat. It's going to, the two heat will be combined to generate power on the other side. And I'll put it to you that the plant was completed, almost ready for commission. The gas line that was supposed to bring gas to that place was not yet, the contract was not even yet awarded. So it has been a recurrent now I think before the last administration left, that was the administration of the PDP, power sector was privatized. So if the power sector has been privatized and the minister is now telling us that he needs 8 billion naira to sensitize people, to sensitize someone's private business, what are we talking about? So what are the companies that brought the power that
exactly doing? What are they doing?
What is the EDC doing? That's what right. Is the Kaduna power? What is the Edo Power Plant and Generation Company doing? So they cannot sensitize Nigerians. It has to be the ministry. No, it's time this minister has to go. And it's time Nigerians will begin to call up, instead of all this, let's call out those people who are not performing and let Mr. President show them the way out.
Exactly.
You are there to serve Nigeria, you're not there, it's not all. It is time, when you do what is wrong, it is time we say at this point, no, we can't accept this one. The minister has to go. Like I said, an accountant. What will an accountant be doing in the power sector?
That's right.
We need an engineer, someone who knows about power himself. Someone, when he gets to site, is not just asking people about what he knows what is to be done, and he should be appointed. Okay,
Ambassador, let's take this caller. We're being joined by another vibrant caller. Please, your name and where you're calling from.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. We can hear you loud and clear, and go ahead with your perspective.
My name is Solomon. I'm calling
from where?
From Kuje.
Okay, Solomon from Kuje. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon. What I want to contribute in the issue is that what I believe is that if anybody that wants to work in Nigeria as a minister or anything can work, he works. So, because if you look at what is happening now, I live in Kuje. You look at what FCT minister is doing in Kuje and in the whole Abuja. This is Wike. Wike is not a lawyer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wike is a lawyer by profession. Look at what, if somebody wants to work in Nigeria, he can work. Come to Kuje and see what is happening. All the houses they are increasing because of the road everywhere open up in the whole Abuja. Drive the whole Abuja, come to Kuje, see what the Wike is doing. Look at that. So many people have been a minister in their FCT. And they didn't do all this thing that they supposed to do. So, I don't believe in whether it's this one or this one. If you want to work, if that minister of power wants to work, he can, even if it's not doesn't know anything about this, he will go to this and bring the people that knows about it. Tell them that I want this to work. And he will supervise it and the thing will work. Every day, almost every week, we come to Kuje and supervise the people that are doing this job. So the whole job is going on. So if you just go and you didn't supervise them, you know Nigerian factor. They will abandon the tenants. Those people are running better now. They declare the whole road is like everything. So that's what I want to contribute.
Okay.
If you want to work in Nigeria, you will have to complete that for mind that you want to work. You will work. Nigeria can be better. It depends on individual.
Thank you, Solomon. From Kuje, his perspective is that it doesn't matter your profession. If you choose to work to make an impact, you can still make an impact, even though you are a lawyer saddled with the responsibility of delivering things that are basically for engineers. What do you think?
Yes, if you want to work, you will work. There's no doubt about it. But when you look at the power sector, like one of the other callers said that I hope they won't turn the power sector into another white elephant to siphon Nigerian resources. As we speak, the immediate past power minister of power is being persecuted by the FCC for 33 billion naira fraud. And now another minister is there, and I think it's high time the FCC should not wait till these people are out of office. They should begin to at least on their torchlight their activities even while they are in office, because I don't understand. Why will you call? Even I was so furious when I saw it yesterday. 8 billion.
8 billion naira.
8 billion, whopping 8 billion naira. Do you know what 8 billion naira would do? Even in the power sector, to better the lots of Nigerians, to provide more power, and you just want to use it to go on TV station, on radio station, and on social media, just to tell people don't tamper with light. And no. And you see, it's time everybody should work, and every other minister, like he has made an example of Wike. Wike is doing excellently well in the FCT, and we know Wike before he became minister.
Exactly.
As governor, even as local government chairman, he performed. As governor, he performed. And now as minister of the FCT, which is also equivalent to a governor of the FCT, he's also performing. So we know that of a true Wike is doing well. We have the minister of Interior also, who is doing excellently well too, as a minister of Interior, and is doing really well under this administration. We have ministers like that we begin to mention that are doing excellently well. And it's time, Mr. President, I think the reshufflement you did the other time, there are some people that still need to go that are not gone yet. And one person on that list, number one on that list, should be the minister of power. The minister of youth is doing excellently well too. Immediately he became minister of the substantive minister, no more minister of state. We can see there are a lot of reforms going on in the youth ministry and the rest of them. So it is time, Mr. President, beam his light back on his ministers again and see who is actually working and who is not actually working, and they should be shown the way out. Must we always be prosecuting every minister of power after their time in office?
That's right.
No, because you have to, if they're not doing anything then, and a lot of money is going in, then you need to ask questions. That ministry, most of it, the GENCOs have been privatized. I don't know why the minister needs that whoopee amount just to educate Nigerians.
Okay, let's take this caller. We are being joined by another vibrant caller. Please, your name and where you're calling from.
Hello, I am Gambo Mohammed Ibrahim, calling from Nasarawa.
Gambo Mohammed from Nasarawa, go ahead with your perspective. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I believe most of our ministers lack commitment and patriotism to this country.
Yes.
Most of them believe Nigerian money is for their use.
That's right.
And they use it the way they want, without persecution, without any caution. I believe the first 100 days in your office should determine whether you want to achieve or you can achieve. If not, you should quietly leave the space for those that are willing to work for us. I believe it is high time for Mr. President to act. If he really wants to secure his second term.
Could you turn down the volume of your TV, please? Gambo Mohammed, could you please turn down the volume of your TV or take some steps away and then go ahead?
Okay, I have turned down the volume of my TV.
Beautiful, that's...
Yes, like I am saying, that the Mr. President should act and act fast for those ministers that refuse to perform intentionally, because there's no one that doesn't know what is right and what is wrong, or what he or she is supposed to do. Most of them went to the floor of the Senate and spoke fluently. That they know how to handle most of these ministries in Nigeria. For God's sake, with 8 billion naira, I don't know. In short, if I am given 500 million naira, I know where to invest and how to invest it. Not to talk of 8 billion naira, just to talk. That is too much, and it's beyond comment. Thank you.
Thank you. I think our leadership recruitment process is also very, very faulty, because I don't know if you watched last night the nominee, the Defense Secretary nominee of the United States of America by President-elect Donald Trump was grilled for 4 hours. There was nothing that was not done about it. They tried to even dig his past. He's even in his private, they even brought to the fore the fact that he was once married, he divorced, he has a perpetually drinking habit and things like that, and he was even said to be a misogynist, that he has a stand against women. There was nothing that was not brought out to show you the depth of questions they asked, the Senate asked before they are even approved, before even get approval. Unlike our own case here, where some nominees will just come and take a bow and leave, and then the next day they are appointed. Donald Trump has not taken oath of office until 20th, but they have started grilling his nominees. Yesterday, the nominee for Defense, Secretary of Defense, spent 4 hours under scrutiny. So they have to be sure of the kind of person they are bringing to be the Minister of Defense for America. What do you think, Commissioner?
I think we should copy that also. See, the members of the National Assembly, I think they are forgetting their roles. We have the 3 arms of government. We have the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. I think it's high time the head of these bodies begin to do what they are actually meant there to do. They should go back and study our constitution and know the powers they have under the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and begin to do what they are put in there for. I don't buy the idea of somebody walks in because he's a party member, or he was one time a former minister, or one time a former governor, and you say take a bow and walks away, and you don't even ask him. I think Mr. President should also start noting this down from 2027, by special grace of God, if God keeps us and brings him back as president. Whoever is going to send to the Senate to be screened as a ministerial appointee, his portfolio should go with him. So the question should be directed on what will you be able to do? How have you been able to study this place? The problems that are in that sector before you're coming. What do you need to do? Then there should be a timeline. There's nothing in our constitution that said you should keep a minister for 4 years. The minister can be hired on Monday and fired on Tuesday if he's not performing well. So we should stop this rewarding of political allies and the rest of them with political office at the detriment of Nigerians. The president should sit up now. The lady, the former head of Adiza, who is the one handling the due process and looking at performance of ministers. I don't know how she was able to. I don't know how the Minister of Power passed. I don't know what criteria that she used that made him pass. Because if she actually used the right criteria, I think that man should be on his way out. See, it is time. Nigeria at this point, if you want Nigerians to sacrifice, which I've also been calling for Nigerians, like I said earlier, that should be patient with this government, then we should show Nigerians that we're actually doing things to better their lot, not telling Nigerians to be patient and at the same time you are rubbing it on their face and telling them that they cannot say anything, they cannot do anything. No, it is time Nigerians should be treated well like Nigerians. I can't be a second class citizen in my country.
That's right.
Every minister, the portfolio should go with him. The National Assembly should scrutinize these ministers and not go and start laughing and playing with them and say take a bow or looking at the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs and say Bianca is still looking beautiful. Is that what you are there to ask? You don't have anything to do with her beauty. You have to ask her, do you have anything upstairs to better the lot of Nigeria when it comes to the foreign policies and the rest of them? Not about that. So it is time we begin to. I agree with you. Our leadership recruitment process has to be looked into. Like I said in one of your sister stations the other day, that the leaders in the north should wake up. The governors in the north should wake up. It's time you now begin to produce or you begin to generate what you spend. You know, this coming to Abuja for this with the bottle kind of economy that will, government that will run, whereby every month you come to Abuja and come and collect and go back. No, people who are going to get leadership positions should be people who are with track record of performance, people with integrity, people who are patriotic, people who believes in Nigeria, people who believes in the betterment of the people of Nigeria, not people who believes in their pockets, their allies and their family members. No, Nigeria is for all of us. The Commonwealth of Nigeria belongs to all of us, and we should be seen that it is used for the betterment of Nigeria. That is what the APC said when they were coming into power, and that we should hold APC accountable when they are not doing the right thing.
This, this call for the sack of this minister seems to be falling on deaf ears. How worrisome could that be? That's
why those who claim to be social activists, or those are social activists, it is time for them to hit the street. We should have a protest for the removal of the Minister of Power. Mr. President is a listening president, is a father, he listens to Nigerians. The other time we called for his cabinet reshufflement, he did a cabinet reshufflement. It is time we also, if they are not listening, we should go on the street. Those of my brothers and sisters who are also in this, this should also hit the TV stations and begin to call, this minister has to go. It should serve as a detriment to other ministers, that when you do not do what is right, we Nigerians have the right to call for your sack.
Okay. We're being joined by another friend of the KAFTANTV. Your name, please, and where you're calling from. Hello, we can hear you. Yeah, you're on. You're on, please.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Hello, sir.
Go ahead, please.
I want to have a contribution and a Barnabas from Abuja.
Barnabas from Abuja, go ahead with your perspective.
Okay, I'm from Kuruku, Fadera Council.
Kwali, okay.
You know, the issue of the minister in which we are saying working or not working is, if we are prepared to working in Nigeria, we have to forget of politics issue in our midst. You know, there are some leaders that bring them to minister. They are not good in their state, they are not good in their local government, but they will bring them because of issue of policy.
Yeah.
But if we can just take that one aside and focus on that, I am Nigerian, I will come to work on Nigeria, you can see that our nation Nigeria will be so very good.
Okay.
So that is my contribution I have.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We are being joined by another one. Please, your name and where you're calling from. Good afternoon. You're on to the Polity live from KAFTAN Television. Hello? Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon. You're on, please. Your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Analyst from Plateau.
Analyst from Plateau. How is Plateau State today? Go ahead with your perspective. We can hear you. Good afternoon.
You know, the president will be bringing somebody from outside. That is not declare the issue of Nigeria. That is not.
Go ahead, we can hear you.
To be traveling to another country. That is not. There is one issue that we clear with Professor Mulumba.
Okay.
In Uganda.
Yeah.
You know, to be accepting another country for your issue is not that you are going to clear the issue. That is not reason. Our president used to be traveling, no concerning about the issue of the Nigeria. To be accepting another president, another other people should be going to another country for no reason.
Allegedly, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
There are plans to spend 8 billion naira to enlighten you, people like you, on how to use the meter and how to pay your bill. How do you feel about that?
I feel very, very rough.
Don't you know how to pay your bill? Your NEPA bill? Do you pay your NEPA bill or electricity bill?
I know how to pay now.
Okay, thank you.
You know,
We appreciate you. He's talking about, Mr. President's diplomatic shuttles to other countries to woo investors. I don't know.
I think if he's trying to say Mr. President's diplomatic trips are not yielding the results, then I think he's not properly informed.
Exactly.
Mr. President's foreign trips has hid a lot of foreign direct investment into the country in the previous his previous trips and the rest of them, and even the one he has just gone for. So we know that at the end of this trip there will be a lot of MOUs and the rest of them which are going to be signed, and it's going to be for the betterment of Nigeria. We don't have an issue with Mr. President. Mr. President is doing everything humanly possible to see to it that Nigerians will be proud of their country, Nigeria. But the issue now is that those the president has saddled with the responsibility, which is division of labor, those ministers he has appointed to carry out some assignment on behalf of him, are not doing the right thing, and we are calling that, Mr. President, it is time to beam your searchlight on your ministers. Exactly. But number one, Minister of Power has to be shown the way out. Okay,
we are being joined another person. Good afternoon. You are on to the Polity live from KAFTANTV. Please go ahead, your name and where you are calling from. Hello, you are on. We've lost the caller. Now, you have called for mass action, to be led by activists and young Nigerians, so that the president will understand the need for him to show the minister the way out.
Yes.
So if that doesn't happen, what do you think
we'll keep speaking,
agitating.
We'll keep agitating and keep talking to the conscience of our leaders that it is time for the right thing to be done. I remember late President Musa Yar'Adua said in 2007 that for once, let's be able to make Nigerians proud. Let's work for the betterment of Nigerians so that they can be proud to be called Nigerians. So it is time. Our leaders should remember that we have a time in this part of the world, and it is our legacy that we leave behind, that people will remember us for, not the amount of wealth that we're able to amass.
All right, on that note, we're going to take another caller, please. You're joining us live in Abuja. Yeah, your name, please, and where you're calling from. Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Dean, calling from Calabar.
Mr. Duke.
Mr. Dean, I am calling from
Okay, Calabar. Dean from Calabar. Okay, I remember you are a regular caller.
The man is with you. Mr. Dean, D-I-N.
That's right. I remember you very well, yeah. Mr. Dean.
Yes. The man is with you there.
Yes.
Yeah? Really, I'm very much agree that it's anger. Why? Maybe he just arrived into Nigeria.
He's angry. He's a Nigerian. He's a patriotic Nigerian, but today he's angry.
Now, some of these appointments are consolations.
They're consolations.
Some of these are consolations. Now, they come in there to want to make themselves, further themselves for politics in the future, appointments and elections. If we really, Nigeria is rich enough, and we have the people that are sincere to make Nigeria great, Nigeria be great. When Yar'Adua came in, he said his mission was 2020. That was to make Nigeria one of the 20 great nations of the world. We need something by that man's death. When you don't realize it, 20 countries in the world, we need something by that man's death. When you don't realize it. So if the appointments, ministerial appointments are just consolations. You paid an election. I want to thank you for supporting me in an election. I did a ministerial appointment. So the money in India does not bother me. Actually, it's Nigeria's money. So I think, this as angry as he is,
he can make many Nigerians as angry as himself. Nigeria is getting very in just 1 or 2 years to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dean from Calabar. We appreciate your perspective this afternoon. You heard what he said. Any observations on what?
No, I'm a party man. But first, I'm a patriotic Nigerian because I had to be a Nigerian to become a member of a political party. Exactly. And why am I in politics? I'm in politics to better the lot of Nigerians and to better the lot of the people of my constituency. It has to be politics. Political office has to be service, selfless service to the people, not an avenue to enrich your pocket or make. It's not. It's when to be a good politician is for you to be able to see what is not going well within your party or within the government you support, and you are able to speak up. Not when you see what is not going well, you keep quiet because of what you think you might gain. No, that's not. I see politics differently from there. I said it from the beginning. I was one person who never wanted President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to be president, but when he became president and I saw that he has begun to put the right thing in the right place, what did I do? I decamped from my party, the PDP, and I joined the APC, and since then I've been canvassing and speaking for this government. And when I see what is not right, it's morally right for me to stand up and say no, for this one I don't support it. The party should not support this, and every right-thinking Nigerian shouldn't support this. Okay, we're being joined by another caller. Good afternoon. We are on to the Polity Live.
Hello, is that KAFTANTV?
Yeah, this is KAFTANTV. You are on live.
Yes, you are on to AA Combo from Niger State.
AA Combo.
Bida, the ancient city of Nupeland. Yes.
Okay, AA Combo from Bida.
AA Combo, yes. A retired but not tired custom officer.
Okay, go ahead with your perspective. Good afternoon and Happy New Year.
I need your audience in the studio.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
That minister should be jailed, not only to be sent packing. How can you request 8 billion naira when the retirees have not been paid their retiring money since 2023? The power, we are from Power State, Niger State.
That's right.
Look at the activity of NEPA or the electric supply people. We know how to pay our bills. We have been paying our bills. So the minister should work up his idea. Not only that, minister, corruption has killed Nigeria. I'm sorry to say. Nigeria could have been the Mecca of Africa. Nigeria could have been the Mecca of Africa if we can do away with corruption. Corruption has entirely become unbecoming physically, mentally, morally, academically. Corruption has chopped the blood of Nigeria. In fact, I'm disappointed with that minister. The president is trying. He has been flying all over the world, bringing investors, inviting investors. But look at what the ministers and some governors, other presidents in northern Nigeria are doing. Nigeria is corrupt. The governors has stole a lot of money during their tenure. Nobody can call for them. The former minister, he gave. How much did he spend? Did he stole about 2 billion, 3 billion, and they killed him in that port? In Polity. So look at what the ordinary minister that they appointed by His Excellency the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that will serve the common people. People are disappointed. Corruption is too much in Nigeria. You have to wake up.
Thank you.
And they should pay the retirees. Once somebody retires in 2023, you don't want to pay his creativity and pay the both customs in immigration prison. Why? Why they suffering us? I remember Combo. God bless Nigeria.
Hey, Combo, we appreciate you. Hey, Combo from Bida, we appreciate your perspective this afternoon. Come to think of it, do you know that, Ambassador, there could be such, allocations in many of these budgets, particularly, the ones that were presented by MDAs, because this one came to the fore because the minister was there at a joint committee meeting and the media covered it and he had to mention it. What about those ministers that have not come for presentation? If there was no provision for ministers to come for breakdown, these are kinds of monies that would have escaped, in budgets, and they'll be appropriated and misappropriated. It's
painful when you are out there defending this administration, and some people are making it difficult for you to be able to defend this administration, and it's painful. My laundry guy will tell me, sir, don't complain about this administration because I see you on national TV defending them. I said I'm not complaining, but when I see what is not right, I have to speak up. Now, it's time we need to start asking the right questions. I saw the son of our former Kaduna State Governor, Malam Nasiru Arifai, speaking in the National Assembly, the House of Rep, precisely, talking about where agencies have to buy car every year, agencies have to buy spoon, have to buy computer, and every other year. And I ask this question: are you buying subsidized computers? Why is it that your I have a system in my house for how many years it hasn't died? I don't change it every year. So why is it the one in agencies and Ministry of Government and offices replaced every year? Why is it even spoons, even and the rest of them? See, Nigerians in position of authority should remember we have a time here. And our legacy should be what matters, not the amount of wealth we amass. We should work for the betterment of Nigerians. For the first time, we should work for the betterment of Nigeria. Okay.
We are being joined by Awusko from Kaduna. Awusko, good afternoon. This afternoon, you are on to the Polity live from KAFTANTV. Awusko, as usual. Go ahead.
Well done, sir.
Well done, Awusko.
Yes. You see, littering and billing handling is a pain to Nigeria. We have to be littered because some of the littering they are doing now, they are unestimated littering. It's just arbitrary. They have to do it so that we'll be able to enjoy our life and pay efficiently. You see, this littering, every Nigerian home needs to be metered so that this unestimated littering will stop. And also, when there is no light, the meters will not be reading. And see another thing, the minister is proposing to use billion for orientation of Nigeria on how to pay NEPA bill. This is ridiculous. Why don't you invest that money in the generation of more power so that people who have 24 hours? Ghana celebrated 9 years of uninterrupted power. But look at Nigeria, the so-called giant of Africa. We have the solar power, we have the coal, we have the hydro. What is stopping us from giving Nigeria 24-hour life? Is it the generator dealers who are sabotaging with some government officials? We need to do something about power because any nation without power is just a laughable country. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Awusko. Well, you've heard Awusko.
I want to ask this Minister of Power. Has he visited the wind turbine farm in Katsina since he became minister over a year ago? I'm sure he hasn't. And if he has, what has it done to bring that on the national grid? This is what we want to hear. What is it doing? I talked about the Greenwood power plant that is a 3-phase. 2-phase has been built already. The 3rd phase of it, what is it doing about that to generate more power? This is what we should be talking about. And even the responsibility of the Minister of Power now is like a supervising role. Yes. Because gen schools are now privately owned. So I don't really understand. What is he doing as the Minister of Power? By now, he should have been telling us in this year that okay, we are decentralizing the national grid. North Central will now generate what they use in North Central, Northeast, Northwest, South, and Southeast, and Southwest. And now the national grid is not decentralized to stop this incessant national grid collapse. That's what we want to be hearing. Is that what he's about to do? No. But instead of that, he's busy telling us, okay, now, I think it's time he should even account to us. What did he do with the 8 billion he used in telling us that he used in fixing the national grid? Because national grid has collapsed after that, like twice after that time. So what has he done with it? Instead of that, he's telling us that he's going to spend 8 billion? No. No. In a country where all works, and in a country that we are working towards the betterment of the people of Nigeria, this minister should be fired and should be prosecuted.
Okay. It is an obvious stick for the Hadiza Balarabe and the Hadiza Bala Usman-led committee, that is saddled with, overseeing performance
of this minister.
It is enough yardstick for them to use. They don't.
I'm telling you, I'm still asking, how did he I think it's time for Adiza to come out and tell Nigerians what was the perimeter used in measuring their performance, and for them to be able to have passed the president's reshufflement the other time. We need to know. See, this is public office. There's nothing secretive about it. We have in the time of Jonathan, we signed the Freedom of Information Bill, I can, which gives me the power that I can walk into a ministry and ask questions on how our public funds being spent. But you and I know that in this country, if I do, nobody's going to answer me. And this is the only opportunity I have to call out for these people. It is time, Nigerians, it is time we begin to question these people. Question those in position of authority. What are you doing to butter the lives of Nigerians? Not coming home and clapping and singing songs or sharing them. You should tell them to their face, you have not performed, you don't need to go back, you should not be given any elective office again. And it is time we stop rewarding elective offices to people who have not performed in the previous assignment given to them. It's like going forward from 2027, we begin to scrutinize these people when they come out to seek for our votes, when they come out to ask for our votes, and tell them what were you able to do when you were there and all that. Mr. President is doing everything humanly possible to see to it that Nigerian gets back on the path of recovery and on the path of prosperity. And it is high time everyone in his cabinet and every member of the National Assembly, not without party the divide or the region you come from, to join hands together with Mr. President and deliver a country where all Nigerians will be proud to be called Nigerians. And I say, repeat, the Minister of Power should be fired to show to others, to serve as a detriment to others, that when you are given the opportunity to hold a public office and you do not do well, Nigerians will call for you and Nigerians will call for your sack and you will be fired.
Well, Honorable Danjuma, I believe that there will be a consensus. Nigerians will believe there will be a preponderance of Nigerians, in the call for the Minister of Power to be sacked. But, let me remind you that 15th day of January every year is set aside in Nigeria for Armed Forces Remembrance Day, where, we honor the unmatched patriotism and sacrifices of fallen heroes as well as our veterans. We're going to take a short break, but when we return, Honorable Danjuma is going to help us break down the gains and the pains of being a fallen hero or a veteran. That will be after this short breather. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why at KAFTAN Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
We blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At KAFTANTV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
it's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world to create signal.
At KAFTAN Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from September.
Take a look at what the facts are.
And as we say on KAFTANTV, imagine a beautiful world.
You're welcome back. If you are just joining us, you are tuned to Polity, the Polity, coming to you live from the Abuja studios of King Adebayo Film and Theatre Arts Network, commonly referred to as KAFTANTV. My name remains Macauley, Hunohashi, and with me in the studio is Ambassador Samuel Danjuma, public affairs analyst, youth activist, and a politician. Precisely, is a member of the ruling All Progressives Congress. Well, 15th day of January every year has been set aside in Nigeria to celebrate or honor, the unmatched patriotism and sacrifice of fallen heroes and veterans. the mood in Abuja today, the nation's capital, at the iconic Eagle Square, was somber and reflective. Today, Wednesday in the morning, as the nation stood still to honor our fallen heroes, which was replicated across the state capitals in the country. And Nigeria at 64, is 64 years old post-independence. But behind the continued existence of the nation are the sacrifices of hundreds and even thousands of gallant troops who paid the supreme price in defense of the territorial integrity and sovereignty of the country. We celebrate them every year, 15th of January of every year. And Honorable Danjuma is going to break down the gains and pains of being a veteran or even a fallen hero. How do you look at this celebration? Is it auspicious that we honor these people every year with just ceremony?
Yes, honoring them, they deserve it, because the gains of it is pay the supreme sacrifice for you and I and every other Nigerian to be able to have a country to be called our own. They have been able to stood against insurgency, terrorists and the rest of them, and many of them have paid the supreme price. Some of them who are still alive would have been maimed, some and have been disfigured, and the rest of them, they have actually paid the supreme price for keeping Nigeria together. But now the question is Nigeria actually doing for their widows and their children what they are supposed to do? I think today I join my voice in calling for an establishment of a trust fund for the armed forces, the police, and every military, military and paramilitary agency in the country. It should be a joint trust fund whereby any child of a soldier, any child of a navy, any child of the Air Force, any child of the police, any child of the immigration, custom, or civil defense, or the DSS who dies, who his father or mother dies in the line of duty, should be sponsored from any level they are. If it's from nursery, if it's at secondary or university level, should be sponsored by government. A certain amount should be set aside that will be used to sponsor them. So this will show that indeed their father paid the supreme price to keep this country together. It's painful when you see the wives of widows. I have an NGO, Good Heart Foundation for Widows and Orphans, and I know what it means, and I know what these people, the widows, suffer at the essence of their breadwinner. So the government should set up, instead of spending most of this money on ceremonies and the rest of them, part of this money, a very good chunk of this money, should be directed into those trust funds to scatter for the welfare of the children of our fallen heroes who have died in line of duty to put this country together. And those who are alive, their pension and their gratuities should also be paid. A few days ago, you all know that the retired military personnel were at the Ministry of Finance, blocked the entrance and were protesting of no payment of their gratuities and the rest of them. So we should also reciprocate by seeing to it that I read this morning before this afternoon, sorry, before coming to the studio, where a 76 years old veteran said he will never wish any of his child should be a member of the armed forces, and that's not a good one from because he actually was taken care of after retirement. We see what happens to retired soldiers in other countries and retired veterans in other countries and the rest of them, how they are taken care of and how their family are taken care of, even in their absence, if they die in the line of duty. So I call for that the president should set up a trust fund to cater for the widows and the children of our fallen heroes, and those who are alive, their pension and gratuities should be paid as of when due. This should cover from the military to the police and all paramilitary in the country. This will eager those who are alive to do more for the betterment of. I saw where Senator Ndome was talking about that he can't believe that at this point that to feed the soldier who is in the line of duty is still 1,500, and the minister is looking for how to spend 8 billion naira just to educate Nigerians on how to pay bill. See, these are misplaced priorities. A few weeks, months ago, a private was still earning 50,000 naira from what Ndome said. That is not encouraging. We should see how to better their lives so that they will do more, because these guys, without them, we won't be able to be sleeping with our eyes closed. They are doing a lot, and if these are put in place, it will aid them to do more to make sure they secure our territorial borders, and also even see to it that the internal security of the country will improve more than what it is. The president is doing a lot, the minister is doing a lot, the defense chiefs are doing a lot, the IG of police are doing a lot to see to it that they are able to curtail insecurity in the country. But it is better, we'll also boost the morale of the troops on the field by putting one or two things in order, like I said, the trust fund, increasing their looking into their welfare, go to see to it that their families are also taken care of even in their absence, and even those who are alive are also taken care of, and they will know that even in their absence their family will also be taken care of. So it has been they have actually sacrificed for us to be here, and it is time for us also to give back. And like I said, most of the money that is used for this ceremony, it will go a long way if it is channeled back into taking care of the widows and the orphans that are left behind as a result of the demise of their parents in the line of duty.
Well, beyond the funding you did talk about, the trust fund you talked about, I've also listened to, I watched that interview you alluded to. He is the secretary of the Nigerian Legion, the umbrella organization of ex-servicemen. And he mentioned that he joined the military in the early 60s and fought the war and retired as a colonel in 1982. But he also mentioned that, you know, after service, they want to be engaged. But there's a fixated mindset by employers of labor in engaging them as they come to offer themselves for service, you know, post-retirement. What they are given is security post. He said not all of them were engaged in general duties. Some of them were intelligence personnel, some were different, some were engineers, so they can still add value. What do you think?
He's actually saying the truth. You always hear that the general is not retired even when he's retired. The general is a general for life. As long as he lives, he remains as a general. So that means he can be called upon any time to come and render service to the country. Now we have the Department of Works in the military, and in all paramilitary agencies we have the Department of Works. If those guys are engineers, nothing stops you from engaging them after their time in service, and to do other jobs within those departments. Nothing stops Nigerian military to have a farm whereby you have a large chunk of land whereby you can employ your retirees to work there even after their service. Because truly, someone who was used to waking up every morning for 35 years of his life to go to work, for him to come back home now and sit down and have nothing doing, and I think it's high time when it is they themselves should start preparing themselves. When it is 15 years to retirement, begin to prepare yourself towards retirement. Don't wait till the last minute when the government. No, it's also their responsibility to start preparing themselves. If you have to start having savings or starting a business that's not time demanding, that you can be seen going there once in a while after you're close from work to see what is happening, so you'll be used to the business sector even before you retire. It will help them a long way to be able to engage themselves after retirement.
Okay, we have a caller. Good afternoon. You are on to the Polity live from KAFTAN television. Please go ahead. In Abuja studios.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Go ahead, sir. We can hear you very loud and clear.
You see, the problem with we armed forces is that.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Ibrahim.
Okay, from?
I'm calling from Saple.
Okay, from Saple. Go ahead.
Delta State.
Yes.
You see, the problem with Nigeria is that the government, I don't know what to really say. They are just good in taking what belongs to people, and that is all that matters. Give to the people what belongs to them, and stop hoarding things that don't belong to you. That's the problem we're having. So that's just the problem. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We appreciate your call this afternoon. He said government takes what belongs to the people. Is it up? Essentially what he's saying is that most of the programs and projects of government are not people-centered. They are self-centered.
I disagree with him to an extent. It's not about government. Who is government? Government is me and you. Government is all of us. But the thing is that those who are saddled with the responsibility of reaching out to the people are not people-centered. They are self-centered. I tell people, I'll be one of the best governor, and I'll be one of the richest governor. you are okay when you deliver on your programs and policy for the people. Then you know that when you are out of government, you have less attention. When you are the richest man in your family, you are the poorest man, because everybody has to come to you to survive. But when you create an environment for everyone is doing well. And Nigerians are not lazy. Nigerians are hardworking people. Nigerians are ready to work with their hands. All they want is government create the enabling environment for them, and they hit the ground running and make the make the best for themselves.
Okay, I've been joined by another caller. Good afternoon. We have lost him. Go ahead.
You understand? So the thing is, those saddled with the responsibility of reaching out to the people should be patriotic. Should think about Nigeria. If I asked this question in 2012 till date, my boss could not answer me then, and I'm asking this question again. If our grandfathers, who are their own fathers, if they had done what they are doing today to Nigeria, I'm calling on all our political office holders, would there have been in Nigeria for them to treat the way they are treating? They should leave better legacies for their children. They say the good father leaves inheritance for his children. That's what the Holy Book says, and not debt or pain and sorrow for their children.
Okay, Awusko, we appreciate you. We appreciate you for calling back.
I'm passionate about the Nigerian Army.
Okay.
Because I'm a product of the Army Children's School in the 70s.
That's right. Go ahead.
Also, one of my cousins was an NMS student in the 70s. You see, the Nigerian Armed Forces is one of the revered forces in the world. Starting from the 60s, when the Nigerian Army recruitment was based on competence, not tribalism and religion. When Nigerian Armed Forces are feared all over the world. But of recent, ethnicity and religion set into the Nigerian Army. The Nigerian Army has been captured. How can a ragtag group like the herdsmen be giving our Nigerian Army forces problem? It's because the hierarchy of the Nigerian Armed Forces is corrupt. Most of the colonel who appeared in one of the stations, he complained. Most of the armory, most of the weapons are not up to standard. The weapons the bandits are using are more sophisticated. And every year, defense takes the lion's share of the budget. How is the money expended? We need to ask ourselves, how can our children be taken as a slaughter flag in the Ukraine and other places? It shouldn't be so. So the Nigerian Armed Forces should wake up. The president must wake up. Reduce the Nigerian Armed Forces. Take away tribalism, ethnicity, and equip the Nigerian Armed Forces. These last people who don't let us sleep will be wiped away in 48 hours. The president of the Tinubu must do something very, very soon, very, very quickly. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. We have another person that's joining us. Good afternoon. You're on to the Polity live from KAFTANTV in Abuja. Please go ahead, your name and where you're calling from.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
I'm Mr. Jimmy again.
Okay.
Hello. I'm Mr. Jimmy again.
Mr. Jim.
The last caller had excited me.
Yes.
Now, I had excited me. Some time ago, about 10 years ago, a notable Nigerian said that the time they established DICON, industries in Nigeria, they had an equivalent organization in Brazil.
That's right.
Now, the Nigerian DICON manufactures use very good world-class furniture. The Brazilian equivalent of DICON use aeroplanes.
We can hear you. Are you there? Mr. Dean from Calabar, go ahead.
Tell me, what are the underpinning factors that makes it that DICON use furniture and Brazilian DICON use airplanes? And yet, this DICON submits to the Nigerian government or the federal government budget. And this budget is approved every year. What happens to the money?
Thank you, Dean.
What?
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you loud and clear. You are on to the Polity Live from KAFTAN Television.
Yes. Yes. I'm Ahmed Baba from Macauley, Benue State.
Ahmed Abba.
Yes, Ahmed Baba from Benue State.
Okay, Ahmed Baba from Benue State. Go ahead, please.
I am a retired soldier.
Okay. We're talking to the...
honestly, I have to tell you that all this jamboree of this celebration is just for formality. The government or those who are in charge of these armed forces, every annual ritual they are doing for the armed, they should ask. Okay, like this year, they should tell us the program they did last year, how many children of other ex-service or other dead or serving has benefited, either serving or retired, other dead have benefited from the proceeds of all the money that local government and other organizations are giving. The issue is that the plight of Nigerian ex-servicemen, the problem we are facing is as a result of the corruption in the military, especially when they say discipline. Like since last year, these 2 months that the money we are paying, so much money has been owed to ex-servicemen, retired, and even those who are no more alive. And this money were approved, but our officers who are in charge of our payment colluded with the Ministry of Finance, and you know Nigerian factor. Nobody can challenge them. Like what is happening in those days. I retired about 22, 23 years ago. I know the plight we are facing. Every year this celebration comes up. They will say state government, other organizations are giving for veterans. What are they using it for? So the issue is that even right now, those who are dying in Madugri and other places, front line, those who are, some of us who retired, we are very fortunate to have retired with our lives. But to those who died, they are not benefiting from anything. We are supposed to be giving means to, at least those of us who are alive, to be receiving medical attention.
Okay.
Do they do that? Except those who are close to cities like Lagos, Abuja, and the Kaduna Armed Forces Hospital. So our problem is from our officers. Because of the so-called, if you talk, either they lock you up or they know how to punish you. They are doing it even at the retirement. So the problem, we thank God the present this thing. The money that owed us for over 20 years or 15 years, they have just started paying it because of the demonstration we are doing, like the last week or so, that they pay us. If it is before you do it, they will use tear gas to tear gas us from military pensions office. But thank God, this thing is wearing human face now. So, but they should stop doing this annual ritual. They should ask for the progress of what they are donating. And those who are retiring now, who are still have the age to work, they should give them jobs.
Thank you, Ahmed Baba.
That's my.
Thank you, Ahmed Baba. We are being joined by Matthew. Matthew is calling us from Benue, the same place where you called from. Matthew, good afternoon. Happy New Year. You are on to the Polity.
Good afternoon, KAFTANTV.
Good afternoon.
Happy New Year, KAFTANTV.
Good afternoon, friend of KAFTAN from Benue State, Matthew. Go ahead with your perspective.
Yes, happy to be on air today.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
Today.
We appreciate you for calling.
We thank God Nigerians are celebrating the Armed Forces Remembrance Day today. It's a good thing. We celebrate all our gallant men and women on uniform. We appreciate them for the wonderful work they are doing, and even for the ones that have fallen. We pray that their soul will rest in peace.
Amen.
If you listen to the previous callers, you will discover that most of them, are not really comfortable with this yearly ritual of the so-called Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration. They are not comfortable with it. The people who the government are supposed to be
are not even present during this occasion. They don't even know whether this occasion is going on or not. Some of the people they are supposed to be remembering today, their families are in the villages, their children are suffering right, left, and center because when their father or their mother fell on active service, no assistance was rendered to them. I'm speaking to you in the capacity of somebody who was born and brought up in the barracks. I grew up in an army barrack. My father served Nigerian army for 33 years. And thank God he retired with his life. I still remember very well, vividly, the time our fathers went to Liberia for peacekeeping, went to Sierra Leone for peacekeeping. I remember the soldiers that died. I remember how their families suffered. Some of them, the families were, so you got to a time, the authority of the army, of the barrack had to send the family out of the barracks, throw their properties out of the barrack. What is the government doing in trying to see that they assist the families of these fallen heroes? These fallen heroes, some of them go there to present, to lay rift on whatever they lay rift on.
Okay.
What are they doing? What are they doing? Today you saw it, I watched it from the beginning to the end. You see prominent politicians who are laying rift, some of them on walking soberly as if some of them don't even, in fact, let me not say it because this is national TV.
All right.
Like the last caller said, all the retired military personnel in Nigeria are supposed to be linked up with NIHA, whatever, this health policy, I've forgotten the name.
NHIS. National Health Insurance Scheme.
Yes, they are supposed to be linked with National Health Insurance Scheme. As I speak to you, most of them retired. It was during my father joined Nigerian Army when my father was like 18 years. I still remember the pictures are still there during the war. Now these guys who served Nigerian Army, Nigerian police, and whatever during their prime. When most of them retired, they were already old. Some of them retired with bullet wounds. I talked to you. Some of them retired amputated. You understand? At the cost of service, these things happen.
Matthew, we're winding down.
So, all right. If the federal government want to do anything tangible for these people, they should remember the plight of the fallen heroes and remember the plight of the retired military men. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. Before you react to these questions, let me quickly add this question as we wind down. We have just 2 minutes, barely 2 minutes. There's widespread hunger. There's despondency in the land, no doubt about it. Nigerian economy is ailing, and many Nigerians believe that government policies are not working. One of them is precisely on the 16th of December 2024, that is barely last month. We had the report of a retiring package for military generals that includes $20,000 for foreign medical treatment, bulletproof SUVs, and cooks, among other benefits for service chiefs and generals. These vehicles will be replaced every 4 years and maintained by the military. They will also receive a Peugeot 508 or a similar backup vehicle. Upon retirement, the generals will enjoy additional luxurious benefits, including domestic aids, residential guards. Retired lieutenant generals and their equivalents will also enjoy international and local medical treatment worth up to $20,000 annually. How does that, resonate with you?
It boils back to what I said earlier when we came here, that do these people take Nigerians for a fool? And the child of a lower rank is lavishing in hunger and in poverty. The mistake these people do is you go abroad to train your children with public funds, only to bring them back into the country to live with people whom you deprived of the opportunity to get the same education. And that is why we're having the issue of insecurities and the rest of them. You're lavishing wealth in the faces of Nigerians, what belongs to all of us. So I think it's high time our leaders look backward. Now, even your cook and your driver to be able to perform well has to be properly taken care of. And you should also remember that we all are humans. We all be given 6 feet. There's no grade when it comes to that. It's going to be 6 feet to 6 feet for whoever you are, be you general, be you a cleaner in the house of a general, or be you a political officer, or just being a Nigerian in the street. We have just 6 feet for all of us. Which remember that there's a day of reckoning. There's a day we'll be held accountable for whatever we do here on earth, and we'll be able to think right.
Also, don't forget that we churn out hundreds of generals every year, and they are young. They're less than 60. How would you be able to get the most vexatious of it is the foreign currency approval for their medical care, when efforts should be geared towards strengthening the naira and ending medical tourism.
Exactly. Okay. I think this is why I keep asking, what is the National Assembly doing? The National Assembly should have looked into this and not allowed this to pass through in the first place. Now, if you tell us that every informal general should be taken care of in the National Hospital, or should be taken care of in the Command Hospital, or should be taken care of in ASO Hospital, then we know certainly the healthcare services in the country will improve. But telling us that you are going to, is this how other countries are? See, you know, Nigerians, we don't copy what betters the lots of every other Nigeria. We copy only what betters, or formulate laws that betters only our lot. Even the National Assembly are talking about, there are a lot of allowances they are collecting that ordinarily they shouldn't be collecting in the first place. You're collecting allowances for every month for servicing of your car, and you're still collecting allowances for buying new cars, and I don't understand. So it is high time Nigerians and those in position of authority should not take Nigerians for a ride. We are all Nigerians by the sheer grace of God. We are Nigerians, and everything that belongs to Nigeria belongs to all of us. And we should be seeing that everything trickles down to the less privileged and those on the street. And by so doing, it will be seen that we are being fair and being fair to all. Nigerians and those in position of authority should take it as a responsibility upon them that they are there to serve the people, and there to better the loss of the people, not there to enrich themselves and enrich their families.
I agree with you. Introducing this humongous package at a time when the military is being given a huge defense budget amid hardship and despondency and physical challenges makes it totally distasteful. Thank you so very much.
Thank you
for coming to the Polity.
Thank you,
Honorable Samuel Danjuma.
Thank you.
That's the size of our package. See you next time. I remember Macauley, Hunohashi. Bye bye for now. God bless Nigeria.